I'm preparing this video to allow you to add and or replace the existing age fields that show up in the existing Act4Advisors layouts. The new version of Act gives you the ability to add calculated fields. This is Act version 16 and greater. Under this particular tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to replace the existing age fields that are in Act4Advisors. To start out, the first thing you'll want to do is to locate, obviously, the layout that you currently use. In this case, I'm using the 4Advisors 1280 by 1024B. I'm going to first of all add fields to the database by going Tools and Define Fields. Within the Tools Define Fields, I'll first of all try to locate my existing age field. The new version of Act does not allow you to change an existing calculated field, but I can create one. And I want the name of the field to be very similar to the existing field. That way I can see both fields at the same time. In this case, I'm going to have to replace the two age fields here for the contact and spouse. I'll create a new field and I'll call this one age contact and I'll append it with calc. The next thing that I'll do is to change this field type to a calculated field. And then I'll choose the next button. Then it's going to ask me what type of field that I want, and it'll be from a date field. In this case, I'll choose the field where the birth date will be calculating the age from. So in this case, I'm simply going to come up here and choose birth date, and I'm going to use years since. This gives me the ability to calculate the age. And that's all I need to do to create the field. Once the field is created, I'll repeat the step for the spouse, and you can alternately replace the fields for the children's ages also. I'll create one more field. In this case, will be called age spouse calc. This will be a calculated field. I'm going to choose the next. I'm going to choose the field type as date. And under this particular case, it will be the date of birth, or excuse me, the birth date for the spouse. And I'm going to use the years since will be the ability to calculate the age. So I've added two fields to the database at this time. I'm going to choose the close button here, and the software will ask me, do I want to modify my existing layout? If you choose yes, it will automatically take you to the layout design editor. If you choose no, you can go to the layout design editor under the tools menu. In this case, I'm going to choose yes. Once I'm in the layout design editor, I'll want to replace the existing fields, the existing age fields, with the new age fields. In this case, I will take this age field and I will double click on the age field to pick a different field. In this case, I'm going to choose the age contact calc. I'm going to uncheck to include a label, and I'll hit the add button. I'm going to repeat the method here for the spouse's age. Double click on that, choose the age spouse calc, and notice that I put the old field there, and I'm not going to include a label. I'm going to choose add. Now I've replaced both fields. Now, one thing that we know from experience is that these fields were gray with a white background. Because the new version of Act, these fields become a system field, you'll need to change the background color. So I'm going to highlight by holding my control key down. I'm going to click on each of these fields. From this, I'm going to change the background color of the field to a white color, and I'm going to change the font color to a black color. And then I'm going to make these more of a center justified, meaning that I want the age to show up in the middle of this field. Now I can either overwrite my existing layout or I can save it as a different name. In this case, I'm going to choose File, Save As, and I'm going to give this a different name. I'm going to call this one my letter C. So I'm basically renaming it but putting a letter C in here so I know which version of the layout this is. So I've changed that to a letter C. and I'm now saving it. At that point, I will have to come back and add the children's ages also if I choose to do so, but we'll just start with these two just to get us through this tutorial. I'm going to close this. Now once you close, and if you have renamed a layout, you will have to change that layout. Under the layouts, I'm going to choose the C layout, and you'll note that the age fields in the Act4Advisors database are now with a white background, and these ages are calculated not from the interface itself. These are actually calculated from the database itself, which means that as you type in a new record, you won't see the age come by. And I'll just go ahead and put in a test contact right here. Test contact. And I'll kind of show you how this works. If I choose a birth date here, and I'll just make this 1960. If I hit the tab key, even if I save this record, and when I save it, it does automatically put in the age. But in the original Act4Advisors, when you tab out of this field, it will automatically update the age. The difference is that this is done through the database. You do have to save the record to see the age. Once the age is done, it will refresh itself each time you boot up the database. So there's no more need to use the global age update to refresh the ages. And if I come over here under this particular choice, I'll choose this one under 1964. If I tab out, notice that the age does not populate, but if I save the record, the age does populate. And that's the end of our tutorial.